This can't be right. Let me see that map. The road isn't even marked.
Oh, that's the Irish of it.
Well, as long as we stick to the seacoast, we can't miss Shannon.
Oh, it's your hurry, not mine. Now, look, Fitz, take it easy. You won't be much use to Augur if you break your neck.
Well, it's my neck.
Hey, I'm fond of mine, too.
This'll hold us all right. Well, you stay here with the car in case someone comes along. I'll scout up the road a bit. Must lead somewhere.
Don't be too sure. Irish paths are whimsical, like the Irish character.
Hey! Good afternoon. My friend and I were lost. Can you direct me to the nearest town?
Oh. Oh, then you didn't come here looking for me.
For you? Of course not. I'm looking for a town where I can hire a car.
Indeed. What might your name be?
Eh?
Your name?
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald. Maybe if I knew why you were needing a car.
Look, if you don't mind, I'm in a terrible hurry.
Hurry. It's a strange word, hurry. Why would you be in a hurry?
There's a very important man waiting for me in New York, and he's not the kind that you keep waiting.
Important. There's another one of your words. It's plain to see that you're impatient with me, Fitzgerald. I've enjoyed our conversation. I'll not detain you any longer.
Thank you very much.
Then you'll not be wanting my direction.
Oh, yes, that's right.
The water from the mountains comes into my pool with a roar, goes out with a whisper. Down the hill it goes, till it quietly reaches the sea, near a little village called Ballinaboon. You, sir, may do the same.
I'll forget, my friend. Thank you very much.
You're entirely welcome. Good day to you, sir.
Oh, good day. Oh, is there
This will be yours, sir.
Thanks.
And this over here, sir. This will be yours. That's all right. You can take it.
Perhaps the landlady will know some way out of here.
I'm beginning to think the whole thing's a conspiracy. Never should have listened to that old lunatic up by the waterfall.
What waterfall is that, sir?
The one up the stream a mile or so.
The Gentle Burn, it's called. There's no waterfall on it.
I suppose we wet our feet in a mirage, huh?
Begging your pardon, sir, but I've tramped the length of that burn many and many's the time when I a young lad. And there's no waterfall on it.
I guess that old fellow must be a friend of yours.
What old fella?
The old shoemaker with the green coat and the brass buttons.
Shoemaker with the green coat.
Is everybody balmy in this country? You saw that waterfall, didn't you?
No, you told me he was up there.
Oh, yes, that's right. We hit the stream below it. Wonder what's wrong with our friend.
Oh, he probably thinks you saw Pixie. They're quite common in Ireland.
Yeah, well, I'll be glad to get back to New York where things make sense.
Because people like your new boss have taken all the agreeable nonsense out of life.
I'm beginning to think you don't like Mr. Augur.
I don't. I don't like his type. I don't like him personally. And above all, I don't like what he does to good newspapermen who go to work for him. I'm going to take a bath.
Sure. In a fine tub. But for they forgot to put in the water pipes. And there's not a plumber this side of Limerick town.
Don't think it so hard. I like the Irish.
Yes, well, you can have them. All of them, including myself.
I wish I could still have you, Fitz. But I just haven't got the price to compete with Augur.
Come in.
I've brought you some towels.
Thank you. Just put them right here on the bed. What time is dinner?
In an hour or so, if Miss Stove doesn't take it into its head to start an argument.
Well, it will if it's like everything else here.
You mustn't be too hard on us. We're not used to having such grand guests all the way from America.
Oh, would you tell the old lady I'd like to see her, please?
There's only one old lady here. You're seeing her now.
I beg your pardon. Are you the... Oh, Mrs. Is there a chance of transportation out of here?
If you can wait.
Well, I can't.
Well, you see, the trouble is we're sea locked.
There must be boats.
For guns and such. But they're not much good in any kind of a sea, or if the wind's wrong. But sure, Sean O'Fair'll be glad to take you in his boat when he comes in.
Mm-hmm. And when is that likely to be?
Well, he'll be back any day now.
Any day.
Tomorrow, perhaps. By the end of the week, surely. I hope you'll be comfortable, sir.
Oh, that was a good stew, Fitz.
It's all right. You like lamb stew.
I do. Well, why don't you pour one for yourself?
Oh, no. Joseph wouldn't like it. She says a long glass means a short life.
Oh, that's a lot of bunk, isn't it?
Why, when I was a cub reporter back in Tennessee, I once interviewed a man on his 110th birthday. He swore it was the result of drinking a pint of corn liquor every morning before breakfast.
You tell me that.
That's the truth.
You know, you'd do me a great favor if you'd mention that to herself sometime.
I'd be delighted anytime.
110 years.
110.
I'll take a glass of whiskey with you, as you insist. And as your guests of the house.
Well, sit down. We want to ask you something. It's about this waterfall and the old man Mr. Fitzgerald had words with.
There's no waterfall on the Gentle Burn. And it was no mortal man himself had words with.
Who was it then?
Oh, I mind well who it was.
Oh, well, who? Don't keep it to yourself, man.
It was him. The Leprechaun of the Gentle Burn.
Oh,
None other.
come now. You don't believe in those old superstitions?
I believe what my father knew, and his father before him. It was a great opportunity you had, and the saints forgive you for not taking advantage of it. 110 years of age, you say.
What should I have done?
Seized him and made him give you the pot of gold. What else?
I wish I'd thought of that. Has anyone else ever done that around here?
Mrs. Daly's own father, Mr. William, and lived to curse the day.
Oh, why should he curse the day?
He forgot to spit on the gold. A handful of pebbles was all he had for his trouble, and bad luck for the rest of his life.
Well, that's the rule, is it? You have to spit on the gold.
So any little babby could tell you that.
You'd better be careful who you talk to, Fitz.
Oh, he'd best have that when you hear the end of it. I was here one night. Miss Nora was away at school. I was alone with Mr. William, and he here with a drink raging in him. And he started to curse every leprechaun that ever cobbled a shoe. And he took the bottle, and he threw it into the fireplace. And he stood up, swaying on his 2 feet. "Katie," he says, "I'll have it out with them devils if it's the last thing I do." And with that, out through the door, before I could raise a hand to stop him. I heard the name, gentlemen, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Come on, man. What's the rest of it?
Well, I stood at the door, calling, and then I heard the banshee. It was the first time I heard it. But I knew it was all over, and so it was. The next morning, they found him be the gentleborn, and he struck dead altogether. The way that he never moved again. Well, gentlemen, as I was saying, drink is the curse of the human race. Oh, I get at it. Well, I think it's past me bedtime, gentlemen, so I'll say good night, kids. One and all.
Katie?
I'm ready for you, whoever you are. Come on, I have it.
Fitzgerald.
Oh, Mr. Fitz, you give me a start, sir.
What are you doing with that bottle of whiskey?
Themselves, they have sharp ears, and they might have heard us taking their names. You know, it's a good thing to leave a little something on the doorstep.
But I always thought the traditional thing for leprechauns was a glass of milk.
Milk? Good night, Mr. Fitzgerald. Good night, lady.
go, you bastard, or I'll pat your bones with fever.
Oh, no, you don't. I've got
Take your hands off.
Not till you showed me your pot of gold.
What would a poor, simple old man like me be doing with the pot of gold?
None of that now. I'm ready for your lies. Of course you got a pot of gold. No right-minded leprechaun will be caught without one.
We've been telling you such stories.
Your friend Tady.
Tady!
Put you up to this trick, eh?
Ah, the biggest lawyer in our county,
Now, that
Clare.
can't be true. Well, we're going to play this game according to the rules. Come on now. Where's the gold? The gold.
Oh,
Not so fast, my friend.
let me go, Yarmadon.
Come on, the gold. Where is it?
I'm telling you, I have no gold.
Where is it? I mean business.
Where is it?
Yes, where is it?
Why don't you take a little look under the waterfall yonder?
Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. I've been warned of your tricks. Where is it?
I don't know.
Where is it?
I don't know. Oh, isn't that the thorn bush? Right under your very nose.
That's right. It's always buried, isn't it? Dig. Come on, dig. Hurry up, man.
'Tis a cruel, wicked thing you're making me do.
You certainly do it up brown. Props and everything. They're real.
Real indeed. They're a lifetime savings. Several lifetimes, as you reckon things.
They are real. I don't know who you are or what sort of a game you're trying to play. Did you steal these?
I never stole anything in my life, except what was rightly mine.
Well, that's one thing we have in common. Here. Take this back.
But I don't understand you, sir.
Now, you didn't really think I'd steal your savings, or whatever they are. Here.
You wouldn't be playing tricks on a poor old man, would you?
No, I'll leave the tricks to you. Here. Take it back. Bury it again. Go on, bury it now.
You give it back to me. You give it back. Listen, I'll never forget you for this. You earned my undying gratitude. Here, take this little bit of a keepsake to remind you of our meeting.
No,
Take it. Take it.
Thank you.
No thanks are necessary. It is I that am thanking you from the bottom of my heart.
All the luck in the world to you.
Mr. Stephen Fitzgerald, you have a way of twisting things in the most perplexing manner. It is I that am saying all the luck in the world. You. So, sir, goodbye. And good luck to you. Oh.
You're up early, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Good morning. I couldn't sleep very well.
Oh, I hope it wasn't the bed.
No, I think I just had one drink too many last night. Kept having dreams.
Good ones, I hope.
Strange ones, anyway. Perhaps it was Tatey's wild stories. It might have been the old man who gave me the advice up by the waterfall.
What waterfall is that?
The one up the brook there, the Gentle Burn, it's called, isn't it?
But there's no waterfall on the Gentle Burn.
Come on.
But come on, Mr. Fitzgerald.
We're going to find out once and for all if there's a waterfall up there. Now listen. Sure, it was here. Hey!
Who are you calling?
Well, he's a rather peculiar friend of mine. But you must know him. He's about the,
Well, it's easy to imagine things here in the woods.
But I couldn't have imagined that waterfall. I saw it and I heard it. But maybe it is further upstream.
Yes, that must be it. I suppose I could have forgotten about it.
Yes.
I used to come bird's nesting here when I was a little girl. There's a grand view of the sea.
I wish that boat would come.
Is it so very important to you?
Oh, it's the chance I've been waiting for. Ever since the war, I've been kicking around Europe writing freelance stuff, mostly for Bill Clark. Now I'm ready to settle down to a real job.
Oh, but you shouldn't give up your writing now.
Oh, I don't intend to. The only difference is that from now on I'm going to be paid for it. I'm sick and tired of beating my brains out for nickels and dimes.
It'll come. You mustn't fret, Mr. Fitzgerald.
My friends call me Fitz.
Fitz? Oh, I'd never call you that. It sounds like a bottle of soda water.
Well, my mother called me Stephen.
Stephen. Oh, I like that better. Everyone calls me Nora.
Nora? Oh, that's very nice. That's always been a favorite of mine, Nora. If I ever had a daughter, that's what I'd call her. Nora Fitzgerald. Nora Fitzgerald.
You're not married, Stephen?
No, I'm too fond of my freedom for that.
Oh, don't say that. A man should marry. It's the natural rule and a good thing altogether.
Well, what about you? Doesn't that same rule apply to you?
And who would I be marrying here in Ballinabud? Michael the fishmonger? Or Tatey Bird? Oh, look. It's a boat. It's the Arroner, Sean's trawler. Your wish has come true, Stephen. If you start at once, he can have you and Shannon in the morning. What's wrong?
You ever seen anything like this?
Oh, sure. It's a doubloon. 16th century Spanish, I think.
How could I have gotten it?
Very easily. There have been many of them in Ireland since the Armada was wrecked here. The farmers bring them in from time to time. That's a nice one.
We'd better be on our way.
Well, keep in touch with me, fella. I'll let you know if I can salvage the car.
Fine. Look me up if you ever get to New York.
Well, not me. I'm the poor but honest type. Good luck, Fitz.
Bye. Goodbye, Nora. Now that I'm going, I half want to stay.
You mustn't be looking backwards, Stephen, but forward to what you want from me.
sorry he's gone.
He's a wonderful man, Mr. Clark.
It all depends on what you call wonderful. He's a nice fellow, he has brains, he's a first-class writer, but he's willing to throw it all away for money. To subordinate himself to an egomaniac, to become just another bright young man who's made good.
And you call yourself his friend, saying things like that about him the minute his back is turned.
Said the same things to his face.
He knows what's best for himself.
Don't waste your fine Irish temper, my dear. It isn't worth it.
Hello, Ruth?
Oh, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Mr. Augur in?
I haven't seen you in a long time.
Is he in?
Yes. Mr. Fitzgerald to see Mr. Augur. Go right in.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Please sit down. Mr. Augur said he will see you in a few minutes.
You mean you said keep the so-and-so waiting 10 minutes and then show him in?
Yes. No.
Tell him I'll be back in a couple of
Mr. Fitzgerald, please. Please, Mr. Fitzgerald. I'll tell you. Mr. Augur, Mr. Fitzgerald won't wait. He's on his way out.
Let us come in.
Please come in, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Hey, you kept me waiting for 48 hours. Gosh, it's good to see you.
See you.
Come in, make yourself at home. You know each other?
Yeah, hello, Higginbottom.
Higginbotham. Say, you've had the place done over, haven't you?
Yeah, it's my daughter's idea. Cost a fortune. Sit down. I want to talk to you. I haven't seen you in years. You know, didn't you have something to do this afternoon? Oh, yes. Well, do it. He's invaluable. Absolutely invaluable, and he drives me nuts. Don't disturb us. Now, why do you think I sent for you?
I'm not very good at guessing games.
Hold on to your chair. Fitz, I'm going to run for the Senate.
What for? I thought Senator Ransom owed his election to you.
Oh, Ransom's all right, but it's not the same as holding the reins yourself. Fitz, there comes a time when a man reaches the top of the ladder in his chosen field. There's nowhere else to go. Well, I've reached that point. Other men go in for breeding thoroughbreds, collecting paintings. They're just toys. Say, you know the oldest and the noblest occupation of them all.
I think so.
I mean politics.
Well, you'll admit there's certain points of similarity.
Oh, don't be cynical. Politics in a democracy. Well, where do I come in? You're going to put me in the Senate.
Oh, no. I'm no politician.
Exactly. Yeah, I read every one of your articles in the American Spectator. Not that I agree with your conclusions or the rabble-rousing policy of the paper, but one thing stands out. You know people. You understand the issues. Take this piece you wrote about my Paris speech. Called it boneheaded.
Dunderheaded.
Dunderheaded. Yeah, well, what difference does it make? Point is, you were right. You put your finger on the weakness of my argument.
I could have put my foot in it.
Well, that's exactly why I want you on my side. Well, of course, I was 99% right. Have some of this?
Nothing.
Well, here's my proposition. Come in with me. Write my speeches, be my right hand, be my brain, my conscience.
Frankly, I want the money. But there's one thing we ought to clear up first. You may not like what I write. We may disagree.
Well, of course we'll disagree. I hate people who agree with me. Is it a deal?
It's a sale.
Good. We'll show them who's a dunderhead, huh?
That's what I'm afraid of.
All those school of journalism boys.
Oh, how's Francis?
Francis? Oh, she wants you to call her. I'm glad you reminded me.
Probably should have done it soon. You don't mind if I use one
No,
of these?
no, it's a private line. That one over. What's my home number?
Rhinelander 45813.
Rhinelander 45813.
Never mind that. Bring in Mr. Fitzgerald's keys and his address.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Miss Augur, please. Mr. Fitzgerald. I don't have any address.
Yeah, I got you an apartment. You know how hard it is to find a place, even for me?
Hello, Francis? Fitz. Yeah, about an hour ago. I'm with him now. No, the devil himself doesn't have enough money to buy it. What? Dinner tonight? Fine, I'd love to if I don't have to work too late at the office.
You don't start till tomorrow morning.
All right, I'll tell him. Fine, I'll pick you up. Good. Okay, bye-bye. She says I can't work too late.
Takes after her mother. Here are your keys.
Here's the address, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Thank you. And find out where Mrs. Augur hires servants and get him one.
Yes, sir. It's the Acme agent.
What do you do with a servant? I never had a servant before in my life.
Well, we can't have you bothered with trifles. Got to keep that brain of yours on ice. We're going to do big things together, my boy. Yes. Big things.
Cream?
Mm-hmm. What was her name?
Whose name?
Your reason for being 2 days late?
Oh, Nora.
Pretty, I suppose.
If you like the Irish.
I always have. I'm glad you're back, Fitz. And I'm glad you're going to be sensible.
Sensible?
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean. It's a shame to waste your talent on the kind of writing you've been doing.
Well, some people didn't think it was entirely wasted.
Oh, but it was, as far as you yourself were concerned.
Maybe you're right at that. I only started being sensible today, and already I have a big salary and an apartment.
See?
Yeah, I see.
I've missed you, Fitz.
I've missed you, too.
You're a liar. You never even gave me a thought all the time you were away. I'm surprised you even called me.
Well, I was only trying to be sensible. After all, the boss's daughter.
Is that the only reason?
How can you be after asking a question like that? And yourself as pretty as a bay filly in a field of clover?
Oh. Fitz, after only 5 days in Ireland, that's rank affectation.
Hello, Fitz.
Well, look who's here. Mary's little lamb. How are you, Higginbottom?
Higginbotham. I just rode uptown with D.C. He'd like to get your thinking on the Labor Management Act. Now, my idea of the proper kind of statement is this.
Oh,
I'm really
dear,
quite sure
dear
that we'll
Fitz,
get the
look at
business
the
through.
time.
We'll never make it. We're a half an hour late for the curtain already.
Hurry, have you paid the check?
No, I haven't.
Just
It'll
sign
be along
Bob's
in a
name, will you
moment.
please, Charlie? I'll go
Take
ahead.
it out of this, will you, Higginbottom? Higginbotham. Oh, yes.
We were a little rude, weren't we?
Yes, we were, but I want Father and all his stooges to understand that their jurisdiction does not extend beyond office hours.
Here you are, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Come on, you needn't smile quite so cordially when you tip hat check girls. Gives them ideas.
Well, she gave me a couple.
Oh.
Taxi, sir?
Yes, please.
Well, where are we going?
Home.
Oh, but it's so early.
Listen, I got no sleep on that plane. It's me for that modernistic little nightmare that your father picked out for me.
Just what do you mean, nightmare?
Oh, wait till you see it. And I'll tell you, there was a painting over the fireplace. You don't mean to tell me that you had something...
Yes, darling, I do, but that's all right. Don't apologize. It's nothing to me that I slaved for 3 whole days to make a nice place for you. What did you do with the painting?
It's in the bathtub.
The bathtub. What else?
Well, I just rearranged a few things.
Oh.
There was a table by the fire that I moved around on the other side. And then there was a lady and gentleman
Yes,
standing
we'll
on the
just go
mantelpiece.
right up there and rearrange them back again. The table and chair, the lady and
No, I
gentleman.
don't think you need to do
16
that.
place,
Really, you
please.
don't. And I'm quite
yes,
tired.
we do. Really, we do.
You heard her, brother.
Yes, sir, I heard
A little more to the right, that's right. Now, there.
Oh.
There, that's fine. Now, really, Fitz, don't you like it?
Oh, it's absolutely breathtaking. What's it supposed to be?
It's called Germinal 1948. It's the coal strike.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Venus rising from the waves.
Oh, Fitz is by a very promising young artist. I'm arranging a show for him.
You're a busy little thing, aren't you?
Just what do you mean by that?
Oh, arranging shows, decorating apartments, convincing your father that he needed a ghostwriter.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say I had a thing to do with that.
No, I know. But I suspected it as soon as I got his cable.
So what are you going to do, resign?
No. No, I'm going to do the job that I was hired to do. But I would like to know what it's going to cost me.
Not a thing, darling. It was sheer altruism on my part.
Altruism. All of a sudden, you're an altruist.
Well, don't you think that
I think that I need a drink.
Shall I tell you why I hate you?
No,
Because all the time you were away, you kept coming between me and whatever I was doing. Because I saw your face in crowds, in the street, in my mirror, when I was alone in my room. Because I ate, dreamt, slept, lived you. You and your black magic. I hate every inch of you. I hate your superiority, your black Irish eyes, and your arrogant nose. What was that?
Oh, it must be the door. Oh, yes?
I'm from the Acme Employment Agency, sir.
Oh, there. Okay, come in, come in.
Yes, sir.
Kitchen's right in there, if you don't mind waiting for a minute or so. Fine time of night to be sending people over.
Well, did you say you wanted him tonight?
No, must have been your father's secretary.
Oh, well, that explains the well-known Augur efficiency. Fitz. What is it? Fitz.
Haven't I seen you someplace before?
I wouldn't track you, no, sir. It depends on where you've been.
I've been to a great many places, including Ireland.
Indeed, sir.
Where'd you come from?
The Acme Employment Agency, sir.
Before that?
The last place, sir.
Where was that?
Oh, there were no complaints, sir. No complaints at all. I take great pride in my work and joy in my service.
I've seen him someplace before.
Oh, he probably worked for one of your friends or something. You know, these servants get around.
Yes, I guess that must be it. Well, I'm gonna have that drink.
Good. I bought your favorite brand of scotch. Here.
Well,
I'll find it for you. It's right down here. There it is.
You think of everything, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Bourbon, too?
Bourbon, too. 2 cases in the kitchen.
What else?
This.
Can I help you, sir?
Yes. Mix us a drink.
Drink? Yes, sir. Right away.
Fitz, I'm going. There's too much traffic in here.
It is a little crowded. See you home?
No, don't bother. I'll take a cab.
I'm sorry about that man of mine.
Oh, everyone's having servant problems these days. Take me to lunch tomorrow. I'll stop by your office tomorrow.
Fine. Good night. You can throw that one away now.
Yes, sir. Throw it away, sir? Couldn't you drink it yourself, sir? That is a great pity. One should not waste good food, one should not.
It's only one drink.
Still, it could save a man from freezing to death or dying from fatigue, it could.
All right, drink it yourself.
If you insist, sir. Your good health, sir.
Sit down.
Yes, sir.
Sit down, sit down. The agency sent you, hmm?
Yes, sir.
What can you do?
Oh, anything you have a mind for me to do, sir. I can cook, clean, take care of your clothes, anything at all.
What would one call you?
Well, you might call me Horace. I've always had a fancy to be called Horace.
Horace. If that's your name, we'll call you Horace.
Thank you, sir.
What about your salary?
Oh, that's all been taken care of, sir.
Oh, Mr. Augur's office.
Horace, you made that too strong. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You'd have to be patient with me till I know your taste.
And another thing. I don't like to be disturbed when I have visitors. Always knock on the door before you come in.
Yes, sir. I'll keep it in mind.
No, I think that's all. You can finish your drink and then go to bed.
Thank you, sir. That's too strong for you, hmm? I throw it away. And what can I do for you?
I'm from the Acme Employment Agency. I was told there's a position for a gentleman's gentleman.
You're too late. The position's filled.
I demand to see the master.
And what would you be telling him? That you got the sack from your last place for getting into the port? Not to mention pinching the parlour maid till the poor Gilbert's black and blue? Away with you, Amador, or you'll feel the back of my hand. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Horace. Who was that?
Oh, nobody at all. Just make yourself comfortable. I'll have your breakfast here before you can say Michael McGillicuddy.
Horace, has the paper arrived?
I'll get it for you, sir.
Horace. What are we doing with all this milk?
What milk, sir?
The milk.
I thought you might have a cat.
Now, Horace.
Oh, there's your paper, sir.
Look here, Horace.
Yeah, I'll go on.
I'll answer that.
Sorry to disturb you, Mr. Fitzgerald. Was your milk delivered this morning?
Yes.
2 homogenized, 1 coffee cream, and a pound of butter?
Yes, I guess so. Why do you ask?
Well, everybody else missed their deliveries.
I don't get it. I left it on every doorstep as per schedule.
Thanks, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Every day I leave milk on door.
Acme Employment Agency? This is Mr. Fitzgerald, Stephen Fitzgerald speaking. Yes, I'd like to inquire about a manservant that you sent up here to me. That's right. What do you know about him?
He came to us very highly recommended, Mr. Fitzgerald. Oh, yes, we've had him in several positions. Stealing? No, sir. You might consult his references. I could give you the names if you'd like.
No, never mind. That won't be necessary. Thank you. You stole that milk, didn't you?
Why would I be doing such a thing, sir?
I can think of one explanation. It would mean I'd be losing my mind. Have you ever seen this before?
I'm a poor man, sir.
Answer yes or no.
I've never seen it before in all my life, sir.
Well, there's one thing certain. You can't stay here. You're too disturbing. I'll give you a month's salary, but you'll have to leave.
Leave, sir?
Yes, right now. Here, stop that. I said stop it, Horace.
I can't have it, sir. I've displayed you, and I wanted so much to serve you.
For heaven's sake, stop that crying.
The best master I ever had in my life, and I've ruined everything. I'm a failure.
All right, I take it back. You can stay. Only stop that bawling.
I know you didn't mean it, sir. You never regret your decision.
And the first thing you're going to do is to turn that milk back, you understand? Every bottle of it.
Every bottle of it. Hello?
This is the Acme Employment Agency. Is this Mr. Fitzgerald?
It is? You don't say. Well, I've changed my mind. You may consider the matter closed.
Kept out of this bridge traffic, Horace. I'm late as it is.
Plenty of time, sir.
I have a very tight schedule today. I have lunch with Miss Augur at 1. I want you to pick me up at 2 sharp and drive me to campaign headquarters. After that, I have a press conference back at the office at 3, and then the women for Augur.
What women are they, sir?
The women for Augur, a group of public-spirited citizens. What's the matter?
Slight indisposition of the machine, sir. Nothing more.
What are you gonna do, spend the weekend? Did you hear me blow the whistle? What do you think you're doing here?
I stopped to admire the view. What is?
None of your back talking, I'll run you in.
It would take you and 10 more like you.
Is that so? Come on, get that car out of here. What might your name be?
My name's my own affair.
You do say so.
You just said so.
Say, you have a sharp enough tongue to be a Kerry man.
Yes, to tell you the truth, I'm from County Clare.
County Clare is...
But I've relatives who live by the lakes of Killarney.
You do indeed.
I do indeed.
You know, it's 30 years since I left the old country.
Oh, you don't.
But perhaps I know some of your people. It's likely I do, you know.
No, you wouldn't. A simple, humble people.
Horace, do something. Do something. Get out. Get out.
I can't wait around any longer, Horace. I'm going to have to take a taxi.
May I suggest that you take the subway, sir? What you lose in dignity, you'll gain in time saved.
Oh, very well. Put this thing back together and pick me up at the restaurant at 2 sharp.
Yes, sir. I hope you enjoy your lunch, sir.
I
I'll give you a little push to the curb. Won't be necessary, thank you, but...
Move right in. Come on, step lively. Step lively. Come on, hurry. Step right in. Yeah, one more. Come on, step right in. That's it. Fine. Get over here. Door's closed.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You know how it is with the rush hour. It's just terrible here because the car goes around a turn.
It's all right,
And, you know, pardon me. Let me brush your hat.
No, that's all right. I have it.
I'm terribly sorry.
It's all right.
And such a beautiful hat, too.
Thank you very much.
It is really beautiful.
Step back, let the people out. Come out. Come on in, mister. Let them in, mister. Plenty of room in the back. Push on in back. Plenty of room in the back.
Impossible.
Oh, I didn't expect to see you.
But you in New York, it's a miracle.
Oh, hardly that. There's a perfectly reasonable explanation for it.
It's still a miracle. A succession of miracles. You see, my car broke down. I had a very important luncheon engagement. My chauffeur advised me to take the subway. It's the first time I'd been in one since I got back to New York. But if I hadn't taken that particular train, I never would have found you today. So just move over.
Tell me, where are you staying and how long have you been here in New York?
Now, I can't answer everything at once, Stephen. I've been here about a week.
And you haven't called me.
Oh, but I didn't know where you were. I'm stopping with Katie's Aunt Bridget's cousin, Mrs. Crimmins, up the street a bit.
That's not true.
Oh, but it is.
No, you. I mean, you're being here in New York.
Oh.
Here, let me take those packages from you.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. Oh.
I hope there's nothing in that little break. How long are you going to be here?
Oh, as long as my business takes me.
Take hold of my arm. I don't want to risk losing you again.
You'd think it were something unnatural and wonderful that I should be here.
Well, it's wonderful whatever else it is.
Oh, wait. I promised little Dennis I'd bring him some candy. How much is this?
Oh, 50 cents. Half the bottle. 4 beats. Well, I'm sorry. I couldn't change that. I just send the boy out for some change.
Oh, dear. Stephen, would you mind?
Yes, Ola. It's funny, I could have sworn the man must have let me go out without my wallet this morning. This is all I had. You couldn't change it to doubloon, could you?
What? Oh, no, not your lucky piece, Stephen. I'll wait for my change. I was thinking of having my lunch. You know, Mrs. Crimmins' cousin son-in-law, Cornelius, has a bit of a bar and grill on the corner. You wouldn't care to join me, would you, Stephen?
Oh, I'd like to, Nora. Except that I have a very important luncheon engagement, and after that, 3 or 4 conferences. You know how it is, the usual thing.
Sure you have. I won't press you, though. I hate to eat alone.
Gee, I wish I could, Nora.
You wouldn't refuse me out of pride, would you, Stephen?
Pride? I don't want to...
Caro si sta fino a mo'. Ogni volta che va a fare un servizio stai da ore, già stari. Senti, ci sono, ma sta casa non ce you want, lady?
Thank you. Forgive me for speaking of your affairs. I could cut my tongue out for it.
You mind if I change my mind and accept your invitation?
Would you, Steve?
I was never a man to argue with miracles.
Good, huh?
Excellent. Oh, no more for me, thank you.
Oh,
No.
now, Stephen, you had hardly any at all.
Does we want so an Irish stew, sir? And that light, it wouldn't distress a canary.
Well, just a very little bit. Oh, a little bit.
You'll have some beer with it.
No more beer, thank you.
Just a small one. And yourself, Miss Nora?
Oh, no. My tea'll be plenty. Are you expecting many people?
Well, if all come that my old lady has invited, then the place will be running over into the avenue itself.
Cornelius' daughter's getting married Friday. The celebration's
congratulations.
to be here.
Thank you, sir. If you care to attend yourself, sir,
I'd like
I'd
to,
be
but
very
my
happy.
time's pretty well taken up right now.
Well, if you change your mind, you're entirely welcome. The more, the merrier.
Thank you.
Cornelius, I'll take the check. Eat.
Oh, yes. Now, you still haven't told me why you're here.
Oh, well, it's very simple. Teddy's Uncle Peter died here in New York and left him a bit of money.
That's Mr. Cremon,
No, his Driscoll uncle from Galway. The one that married the youngest Brady girl. Well, his father had the farm next to Sweeney's.
Oh, that one.
As you see, Mr. Driscoll had 4 sisters, and the eldest was married to Francis Corrigan, that had a public house in Limerick with his brother Seamus. Well, that failed for drinking with the customers, so my father took Teddy on as a lad to help with the horses. And then he came to America.
Corrigan.
No, Uncle Driscoll, as I'm telling you. You see, his favorite sister was Kathleen. That's Teddy's mother. And when young Paddy went to sea in 1920, he changed his will, leaving everything to Teddy. He never cared much for Rory or that little witch of Orion girl he married. There was some trouble with the O'Sheas, of course.
Of course.
They thinking that their mother, being the eldest, was entitled to a share. But Martin O'Shea had done well in marriage with the O'Dooleys from up Knocknashiga. And it was only a bit of an inheritance, a few shillings a month. So there was no trouble to persuade them not to make any complications.
That made everything very simple.
Oh, well, it would have been. But for Uncle Driscoll being a bit hazy in his notions and thinking that Teddy was a girl. So he left his money to his beloved niece. Can you imagine?
I can't think what confused him.
Well, anyway, someone had to come to straighten things out. And Teddy wouldn't budge. He mistrusted the sea and refused flat out to set foot on the Atlantic. He said, I'd rather die a poor man but a try one. So that's why I'm here.
I'm very glad you made it plain to me. And I'm very glad you're here.
Oh, Stephen, I never thought I'd see you. When I knew I was coming, I wrote that nice Mr. Clark in London for your address. But he didn't answer.
He's probably on the continent.
He did tell me one thing, though, before he left, that any time, whatever might happen, he'd be glad to have you back with him.
Did he say that?
If it's a question of passage money, I'm sure he'd advance it. Oh, a bit more than nice, too.
Oh, no, really, I couldn't.
But you had very little before.
But I...
Oh, come on now. A drop of this will do you good. Make you strong as a horse.
All right, Cornelius, do your duty.
And another potato.
Another potato.
Mr. Augur, personal question. As a former newspaper man, how does it feel to be against the wall instead of on the firing squad?
Well, it feels awful. I know you fellas will give me a break.
Do you think there'll be another war?
I answered that a few minutes ago.
No, you didn't. But then nobody else has either.
Mr. Augur, I understand you support the Crawford proposal for Germany.
Absolutely. That's a must as far as I'm concerned.
I'd like to read your comment on this proposal. Quote, the Crawford proposal is a fraud on the German people, a death sentence for European democracy, and a betrayal of American interests and ideals. Unquote. This appeared in the American Spectator on June the 6th under the byline of Stephen Fitzgerald. The same Stephen Fitzgerald who's running your brain trust today. Would you like to comment, or perhaps Mr. Fitzgerald would like to discuss it?
Well, boys, well, the answer to that's very simple. When Fitz wrote that, he was working for someone else. Now he's working for me.
Oh, Mr. Augur.
Fellas, let me change my shirt, will you? I haven't sweat this much since my first job carrying a hod.
You got any pictures of yourself carrying a hod?
Sorry, I didn't know I was going into politics then.
So long,
Boss.
See you, Fitz.
Bye. Good to see you, Fitz. Why don't you drop around the club sometime? Well, they keep me pretty busy. Yeah, we all have to make a living. Give me a ring. Right.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot, Mr. Augur. Not at all.
Say, you handled that perfectly, D.C. You know, I was afraid for a minute that...
Do you want anything else, Mr. Augur?
No, thank you. Should have told me about that piece, Fitz.
You read it, didn't you?
Yeah, I read it, but I didn't remember it was so strong. It'd be embarrassing if the opposition made an issue of it.
But you knew those were my views when you hired me.
Well, this is politics, Fitz. Where'd you put that bottle?
Here, let me do it, DC.
This is politics. Got to keep one jump ahead of him.
Right away, DC.
Not you. I've got it. You'll do a piece for New Era. We don't go to press till tomorrow night. On foreign policy. Second thought since you've had a chance to study the situation. You know one of those, on the other hand. The Crawford proposal's not as bad as you first thought it was. It's a pretty good thing in the long run.
My agreement with you calls for perjury, but not under my own byline.
Fitz. Have that thing on my desk by tomorrow noon.
Here you are, DC.
What are you doing here?
I let you go out this morning without a clean handkerchief, sir. I hope you forgive me. I was thinking about it all the time I was dusting. I said to myself, there's poor Mr. Fitzgerald writing all those important political speeches, and him without a handkerchief to put to his nose.
It's very good of you, Horace. And now, if you don't mind, I have some work to do.
Yes, sir.
And after this, if you forget anything, you don't need to come chasing after me. There's such a thing as taking one's job too seriously.
Oh, no, sir. Not when your heart's near work.
It's just a job, Horace.
No, sir. He's more than that. He's a life, indeed. When a man enters the personal services of another man, he must be prepared to surrender himself to his vocation. It is the master who matters, not the man. And so, if the man takes to his work, the master's wish will become his wish. The master's thought, his thought. The master's soul, his soul. When the master gets hurt, the man will cry out. When the master's nose itches, it will be the man who sneezes. He will live for his master, not for himself. Perhaps you find it difficult to understand, sir, because you are the type that wears no man's collar. You are a proud free man. It is for that reason that I'm proud to serve you. Will that be all, sir?
Yes. Yes, Horace, that'll be all.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Where's Mr. Augur?
He's gone out, sir.
When will he be back?
I don't expect him back this afternoon.
Where can I reach him?
I don't know, Mr. Fitzgerald. But if it's important, I know he'll be home for dinner tonight. He's expecting some guests.
Have some more steak, Senator.
No, thanks, D.C. I lost my appetite 20 years ago. You'll find out.
I already have. I'll pay for this in the morning. What is it, Jenkins?
There's a Mr. Fitzgerald to see you, sir. He says it's important.
Ask him to come in.
Yes, sir.
Were you listening to the judge's conversation?
Come on in, Fitz. Come in. So good to see you. I believe you know everyone here, don't you?
Yes. Mr. Augur, I'm sorry. I thought you'd be finished dinner by this
Quite
time.
all right.
Senator Ransom, this is Mr. Fitzgerald, my good right hand.
Ah, yes, I've heard of this young man.
Senator?
Have some dinner, Fitz.
No, thank you. I'd like to see you alone if you don't mind.
Oh, well, sit down. We'll be
I'd
through in a
rather
few-
wait in the study if it's all right.
Oh, sure. Make yourself a drink while you're waiting.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Oh, I'll help him. Will you excuse me?
Early. How much do you want for Mr. Fitzgerald, D.C.?
He's not for sale.
Really? I understood he was.
Well, I hear Father's been his usual sweet, tactless self again.
Never mind the drink, Francis. I'm not in the mood.
Oh, now, really,
As
Fitz,
you
I
were
thought...
instrumental in getting me this job, perhaps you'd like to be the first to read my resignation.
I hope you know what you're resigning from.
I think your father made that quite clear this afternoon.
I guess I shouldn't tell you this because it's still supposed to be a secret, but I happen to know what he has in mind for you.
Well, he hasn't let me in on the secret yet.
If he wins the election, he's going to have to find someone to run the publishing house. Naturally, he'd prefer to promote somebody in his own organization. Somebody who understands the Augur way of doing things.
Go on.
Of course, it would have to be somebody he can trust.
Or manage. What about Higginbottom?
Oh, no, Fitz, this isn't a job for a yes man. It's for a man who has the intelligence to recognize his big chance. Patience to wait for it, and the resolution to seize it. Father's a bit of a fool to go into politics. He has more power right now than a dozen senators. The man who sits in his office will inherit that power.
Not if he's still running things by remote control.
He won't be. I'll see to that.
You? How?
Leave that to me. D.C. Augur will be perfectly happy making speeches in Washington. Stephen Fitzgerald makes history here in New York.
Well, it's a very alluring prospect.
Of course you'd use the power for good, Fitz, but the important thing is to have it. It's all very well to have ideals, but what good are they if you can't reach the people with them?
Yes, but I'm not sure that's what I want.
It's what I want.
You have it now.
No, I haven't. I can wheedle certain things, but I'm not a partner.
You go with the job?
If you want me, Fitz.
Some cigars here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, here they are, Senator.
You needn't wait it up for me, Horace.
I thought you might require something, sir.
I'd like a drink.
Yes, sir, right away.
Fix one for yourself, too.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
I'd like you to drink my health, Horace. I'm going to be married.
Aye, indeed, sir. Would it be the tall lady, sir?
Hmm? Oh, Miss Augur, yes.
Ah, you're a fortunate man. She'll make a fine mother for your children.
There's more to marriage than just having children, you know, Horace.
Oh, indeed there is, sir. There's riches and poverty, sickness and health, love, honoring and obeying. She'll make you a fine wife, sir.
It's a very important decision, probably the most important that a man makes in his life.
Oh, indeed it is, sir. May I ask what prompted you to make it?
Well, one doesn't stop to analyze one's behavior when one's in love.
No, sir, but there must be something about the tall lady that made you select her as your partner for life.
Well, she's beautiful, for one thing.
She is indeed, sir.
With a man's courage and a man's brains.
Yeah. Is there anything wrong with a woman's courage and a woman's brains?
We won't discuss it any further.
No, sir.
You have something against her, haven't you?
Me, sir? Oh, no, sir. Nothing at all, at all.
No one's forcing you to stay here and keep on working for me, you know.
No, sir. After the wedding, I'll be looking for another place.
But you don't have to make up your mind right now, Horace.
You'll have no further need for me after that, sir. Will that be all, sir?
Yes, that'll be all. Good night, Horace.
Good night, you say, sir. Oh, the saints forgive me, sir. I forgot to tell you that I'd waxed the floor.
Yes, Horace. It was very thoughtful of you, Horace.
This is good, Fitz. It's great. I like this ad-lib finish. I think it's just perfect for the journalist club. It's all of one newspaper man to another. How would it be if I put my hands in my pockets? You know, sort of informal, homespun.
I wouldn't get too homespun. You're liable to unravel.
Yeah, you mustn't overdo it. But this speech can be one of the most important in the campaign if we don't make any mistakes.
You're certainly right there, D.C.
Of course I'm right. Don't you have anything to do this afternoon?
No, I'm all finished for the day.
Finished for the day. Well, this is our chance to recapture the working press, Fitz.
Well, if you don't have any further suggestions or criticism, I'll see if I can get that deathless document mimeographed.
Oh, by the way, I've arranged for you to sit at the speaker's table tonight.
I wasn't planning to attend.
I'll change your plans.
My agreement with you doesn't cover the way I spend my evenings.
In this case, it does. Take it easy, Fitz. If these were normal conditions, I wouldn't insist, but you're a member of this journalist club. What'll your friends say if you don't show up?
Assuming that I have any friends left.
You're oversensitive. There aren't 50 newspapermen in this town who entirely agree with their paper's policy.
Our relationship's a little different, isn't it?
Well, sure, but this is politics, Fitz. Politics makes
Strange bedfellows, I know. I haven't been sleeping very well lately.
Well, if I'm not complaining, why should you? Consider what Lincoln had to put up with. Here, have some of this.
Thank you.
There's a gentleman to see you, sir.
Well, Bill, you old son of a gun.
Yes.
How are you? Gosh, it's good to see you. What brought you? Sit down. Can I fix you a drink?
No, it's a little early in the day.
How about a cigarette? Huh? Oh, I keep forgetting. You gave him up. Well, tell me, what brought you to New York?
The Spectator is calling in all its foreign bureau chiefs, you know, consultation. You live here, Fitz?
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, I'm not responsible for the decoration. A friend of mine did those. But I'll be giving the place up soon anyhow.
Sure, I understand, Fitz. Pretty expensive keeping a man, eh?
Huh? Oh, I don't pay him.
Oh?
No, Augur. Augur does it.
Augur. You're still working for Augur?
Well, of course.
Look, fella, you don't have to put it on with me. Say, what did you do? Tell him where to head in? Sure, then he passed the word round, I know.
You've been drinking or something?
Fitz, I have returned plane reservations for Monday. I've got some for you, too. You're going to Italy for us.
Bill,
Why, it's a break for me, whatever happened. Nora's cable arrived just as I was leaving for the airport in London.
Nora's cabled?
Sure, she's a girl in a million.
What did she say?
I got it right here. I wired Bronson and got his okay to sign you.
I had no idea. No idea she'd do anything like this.
Like what?
Well, she got it into her head that I was broke. I should have told her the truth.
The truth?
Yes, I'm still working for Augur, Bill.
You?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I should have known it was too good to be true. Can you explain that to Nora?
No, I should have done it before this, but, you know, I've been busy.
Well, you'd better make it good. I'll be on my way.
Let's get together before you go back, Bill.
Well, I'll see you tonight. I'm going to hear your boss.
Oh, don't waste your time.
Why not? I hear he makes a good speech. Yeah, that's yours.
Oh, where can I reach you, Bill?
The Nelson. So long, Fitz.
Bye.
Excuse me, sir. The tall lady called, sir. She wants you to take her to the Jennison reception. She said she'd call back again, sir. The tall lady, sir.
Oh, yes. Well, you talk to her, Horace. Tell her I'm tied up or something. Make it sound good.
Yes, sir.
Stephen, you came after all.
Yes, Bill. Clark came to see me.
He's here? Now, you say that Billy's here.
Yes, Bill's here. He came to see me in my apartment, and he offered me a job.
Oh, I'm so glad. When will you be coming back?
Now, listen, Nora,
What's the matter with you? This is the second time. Why don't you...
Stephen Fitzgerald, this is Terence Flaherty of Hooker Ladder Company 38, the pride of the New York Fire Department.
Oh, Mr. Flaherty, how do you do?
How do you do? What's the matter?
You smell smoke?
Smoke?
Yes. Back room, perhaps,
Back room?
Yes. Definitely smells smoke from someplace. Might very well be back there. I'd have a look if I were you.
Oh.
Come on, let's try it over here again.
Now, look, tell me about that job of Bill's.
Just what did you say to him in your cable?
Oh, he got it then.
Yes, he got it then.
Oh, you'll forgive me for that. I had no right to interfere in your affairs. But, Stephen, it wrung my heart to see you like that. I hope I haven't offended you.
Oh, you couldn't offend me if you tried.
Welcome to the party, sir. Well, I'm certainly glad you were able to make it. Here, drape that over your tonsils.
Nora, I have a confession to make. I have a job.
You have?
A very good job. I'm well on the way to being a very rich man.
You lied to me.
No, I didn't lie to you.
You did so. Then it was the truth. All that about the motor cars and drivers and important appointments.
Yes. But it was the truth. How could I be lying to you?
Oh, now don't try to wriggle out of it. Just go tell Terence Flaherty that I'm not busy.
You're not angry, are you, Nora?
Of course I'm not angry. Being made a fool out of in broad daylight.
Well, I tried to tell you that...
You did not.
There's no smoke out there.
Well, you better try upstairs.
Oh.
Oh, Stephen Fitzgerald, you're a wicked and deceitful man. And me filling you up with Irish stew.
Well, it was wonderful stew.
It was not. She put too much flour in the gravy. But I'm glad you got what you wanted from life.
The pale moon was rising above the green mountain. The sun was declining beneath the blue sea. As I strayed with my love to the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Trali. She was lovely and fair as the rose of the summer, yet was not her beauty.
Ah, it's a lovely song.
You won't be going back home soon.
Oh, I have my passage on the steamer tomorrow.
But you've only been here a week.
But my business is done with. There's no reason to stay.
But, you know, there's so many things that I wanted to talk to you about.
That made me love her.
Do you still smell smoke, Mr. Fitzgerald?
By Terence Flaherty.
Certainly, don't you?
Stephen, are you all right? Oh, this is terrible. I'm so sorry. Oh, speak to me, Stephen. Oh, open your eyes. Oh, will somebody please get him out of here now? Oh, Stephen. Oh, this is terrible.
the rose of
Stephen, it was all my fault. Oh, Stephen, praise be you're alive.
Oh, nice friends you have.
Don't be saying anything against them.
Nora,
Oh, now you mustn't move. Now, your
No.
poor head.
I'm all right. I have to go.
You should rest for a little.
Late as it is. I'll see you home.
Good night, child. God keep step with you.
I live here, Stephen.
Goodbye, Nora.
Goodbye. Why, I was hoping you'd see me off on the steamer tomorrow.
I'd like to, but I'm going to the country for the weekend with my fiancée. I'm being married in a month.
I wish you happiness, Stephen. Goodbye.
Good evening, sir. Perhaps you can explain this to me.
It's a bit of an old pebble, sir.
Half an hour ago, that was a coin from your pot of gold.
What sort of wire talk is that?
I know very well what sort of talk that is.
You ask what's on your mind, Horace.
The truth, Horace. I want the truth.
Keep your distance, Fitzgerald. Away!
Come clean now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you don't, eh? What about this shoe, huh?
Take your hands off me, Fitzgerald. I'll be happy to give you any information you require.
You are the leprechaun, aren't you? And I'm crazy. I've been crazy ever since that first night in Ireland.
I'll answer your questions in turn. I am. But you see, I am. Now, the term perhaps is not quite the best usage. As to your mental condition, it's true you're a bit on the weak-minded side, but you're as sane as you'll ever be. Aren't you a little large for a leprechaun?
That's a page of my family history we won't go into if you don't mind. I'm parched from all the exercise you've given me. Do you mind if I have a drink? Do you mind? So?
You brought Nora over here, didn't you?
No. You brought her here yourself, Fitzgerald. Long ago. In your mind. A physical presence alters nothing.
What are you trying to do? Ruin my life?
Let us discuss the matter calmly, Fitzgerald. Do you mind? You must believe me when I tell you that I was prompted by the noblest of motives, simple gratitude and affection for yourself. It was for that reason that I left my native waterfall to come here and dwell in your cold, inhospitable city. And I don't mind telling you, I'm a little bit homesick. My nose itches for the smell of peat and my eyes watered for the sight of a blackthorn in bloom. It's sad indeed that I've been unable to complete my mission. That I must leave you and fail you.
But I didn't ask you to come.
To be sure you didn't. But then, you don't always wait for an invitation to follow the brave music of a distant drum. You see, I had learned to like you. Still, I suppose, to be philosophical, there would be other centuries to come. And other young men with a nose for treasure. I offered you gold. It is not my fault that you prefer a pebble.
Horace. Well, I've tried to give you as sincerely as I can my view of the issues of the campaign. Not that I expect you all to agree with me. Frankly, I'd be a little worried if you did. As long as a good, healthy disagreement is the essence of a free press. Well, I hope you won't be too hard on me. Remember, I used to be an honest newspaperman myself. Off the record, I wish I still were. But I'd like to make a little announcement. If I'm lucky enough to win the election, I intend to resign from Augur publication. I've given a good deal of thought to the selection of the man who'll take my place. Well, I didn't have to look far. For the past couple of months, I've been honored to work with one of the best newspaper men of our time. You all know him as a first-rate reporter and a whale of a good fellow. Steve Fitzgerald. Come on up, Fitz. I'll tell you something, Fitz.
Well, I'm very grateful to Mr. Augur for his very flattering offer, but I can't accept. In the first place, I wasn't cut out for the job. And in the second place, Mr. Augur should have someone in charge of his publications who agrees with him on the issues.
Is this on the record, Fitz?
Can we quote you? Well,
What are your own plans, Fitz?
I haven't any. I haven't any except to sit under a waterfall with an old friend of mine.
Come back. Give us some more. Will you bring back? Mr. Augur, how about a steak? Mr. Augur, do you have You're really serious. I think you can tell us more than this. What about this, man? What is this disagreement?
Wait a minute, fellas. I've said enough. You heard it all.
Was there any chance you'll change your mind?
No, I'm resigning as of right now, for good.
Well, what about the engagement, Fitz? Is it on or off?
I'm afraid that's up to Miss Augur.
How about that, Miss Augur? Are you going to share that waterfall?
I don't think I'm invited. But even if I am, as Mr. Fitzgerald would say, I'm afraid I wasn't cut out for the job. Goodbye, Fitz.
Goodbye, Francis.
It's well written, Fitz. But I don't agree with a word of it.
What's wrong with it?
Well, anyone who knows a thing about conditions in Italy...
Listen, I was there. Were you?
Oh, I should have gone myself, I know.
All right, all right. You don't like it, I'll turn it over to D.C. Augur, now that he's safely back in the publishing business.
Who said I didn't like it? Yeah, we'll run it as a series. The usual rates.
Are you two going to sit here all night arguing?
Oh, it's this pig-headed husband of yours, Nora. He has no respect for my gray hairs.
Listen, he's getting an Augur complex. Don't you want a nightcap, Bill?
No, thanks, hon. I'm going to bed.
Good night, Teddy.
Good night, Mr. Fitz.
Come on, honey. Teddy, would you just leave that bottle on the table there?
I had no intention of touching it, I can assure you.
Good night, Bill.
Good night, Bill.
Good night.
If you want anything, just sing out.
Thanks. I want a wife like Nora.
There aren't any.
It gets altogether unmanageable. I'll remember that. Bill! Oh.
Hey, what's that here?
Oh, it's you.
What are you doing with the bottle?
It's for an old friend of mine. Just in case he needs something to keep out the cold, you know. Good night.
All right.